Top Thrill 2 is the reimagined version of Top Thrill Dragster, the former world's tallest and fastest roller coaster from 2003 to 2005, when King to Cod, the current world's tallest roller coaster, opened. However, this legendary coaster would close in 2021 after a woman was hit by a flying object from the train, leading to the ride's closure. And this led to speculation on what would happen to the coaster, and on August 1st, 2023, we got our answer, because about 3 years after the closure of Top Thrill Dragster, Cedar Point announced Top Thrill 2, the world's tallest and fastest multi-launch roller coaster, with Zamperla taking the 420-foot top hat from Top Thrill Dragster and replacing the launch with an LSM1, adding a 420-foot spike to the coaster, with the ride experience being as follows. You exit the station and enter into the launch track before launching forward at 74 miles an hour and up at part of the way up the top hat. Then you roll back and hit the launch again, getting you to 101 miles an hour, going backwards before rolling up the 420-foot spike, then rolling back down the spike and hitting your max speed of 120 miles an hour and flying over the top hat before dropping down through the 270-degree spiral and into the brakes, ending your ride on Top Thrill 2. And luckily enough for me, I was able to ride this insane coaster on Thursday, May 2nd at a preview event for the coaster. And this is what I thought of it. First, the ride experience is nothing like you have experienced in the past. The first launch is a little weak and has similar acceleration to a mock coaster like Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. It's a little shaky when exiting the launch track and entering into the top hat, but it's nothing that ruins the ride experience. After the first launch, you roll back down the top hat, which does not do much in terms of forces, but it's an interesting experience. But then you enter into the wildest part of the ride, the backwards launch at 101 miles an hour, which is like nothing else in the world, before entering into the spike, which gives a nice feeling of weightlessness in the back row, before rolling forward and hitting your top speed of 120 miles an hour, which is just insane feeling because of all that speed, before going up the top hat, which gives a nice pop of airtime in the back of the train, before getting thrown right back into your seat on the downward spiral, which gives some nice lateral g-force, before entering into the final brakes. Now, does this ride lack some good acceleration? Yes. Is it a little shaky at points? Yes. But does that take away from how good this coaster is? No. The speed on the backwards launch, the spike, and the airtime over the top hat more than make up for these issues, and put this coaster inside my top 10 at number 6 overall, with a score of a 9.5 out of 10. And now that we've talked about the ride itself, let's look at other factors that make a great coaster, starting off with the comfort of the trains. And I have to say, Zamperla did a great job on these trains, and they were probably more comfortable than the mock ride trains, which are some of my favorite in the world, and are probably close to the modern intamin trains that are some of the world's best. And these trains are also very open, which helps this ride experience. Now let's talk about some other more important things, like reliability. And from my experience and from what I'm hearing, this is one of the most reliable coasters out there, as when I was at the park, the ride did not seem to break down once, which is not normal for a coaster during a preview day, because they still have some issues to work out with the ride, but that did not seem to be the case with this coaster, and Cedar Point and Zamperla seem to have it running about perfect. As from all the previews, I've only heard of the ride breaking down once for an hour during all of the events, so that's really good. So reliability does not seem to be a problem for Top Thrill 2. Not to the other main issue I can see with the coaster, and that's capacity, because the coaster runs 3 20-passenger trains and has a theoretical hourly capacity of 1,000 riders an hour, meaning the ride crew needs to dispatch 50 trains an hour to reach 1,000 riders per hour, which is fine for many other parks, but this is Cedar Point, so this could become an issue on busier days, like opening day for example, because the line could be up to 6 hours. But the good news is the Top Thrill 2 crew seems to be fast when dispatching trains, as they have the next train entering the launch track when the train is exiting the top hat and entering into the brakes. That's going to do it for this video. Tell me if you have ridden Top Thrill 2 and what you think of the coaster, or if you have any plans to ride this coaster in the future. Bye guys, see you all next time.